Hello and welcome to The Insider. I'm Lisa Adams. Welcome to our viewers and our listeners on the radio. Today it's all about the Erie Downtown Development Corporation, what they have accomplished over the last year, and what's ahead in 2026. My guest today is Drew Whiting, CEO of the Erie Downtown Development Corporation. Welcome back.
Thanks, Lisa.
Getting to be a regular here.
Yeah, this is nice.
All right, so let's start with the accomplishments for 2025. You have had a really big and busy year, so what do you see as the biggest ones?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ones is getting our food desert solved again. So having Country Fair open in the spring of this year, it's just a big boost to the downtown. It's we've heard nothing but positive reviews. Brings a grocery option with fresh produce, fresh meats, and then also the staples for everybody's pantry. So getting that in was a huge deal. Kicking off the development of the flagship commons, which really ties together our first phase of development in downtown, has been a huge lift, and we're happy to have that moving on schedule. And then we've of course had the really popular openings of Hazards and Serafini's and Dave's, as well as some newcomers in the food hall. So it's been a busy year, and we're working on putting the pieces together to keep the momentum going.
We're going to break those down and talk to some of them one by one, but I heard some interesting things. I mean, there's some people who regularly come downtown, some people who are really pulling for the success of Erie Downtown Development Corporation and going to these places to support them. But there are other people whose lives just never bring them downtown, and that's really something you hope to change.
Yeah, I think we've had our work cut out for us for the 8-9 years that we've been doing this, and there are a lot of minds to change about what downtown is and what it can be for a date night, for a day out with the kids on the weekend, for a holiday party. And we're doing our best in that department. That means bringing things into the fold that people really want to enjoy, whether that's a climbing gym or good food options for families, fun things to do on date nights. And I think we're doing that, and as we see those numbers tick up, people showing up to do their grocery shopping, people showing up to go out for a nice dinner at Serafini's because it's a staple that everybody missed for a long time, or to hit up Dave's Diner on a weekend morning and then go do something fun afterwards, play putt-putt at Hazards or have a cigar. And there's a lot of cool things to do down there now, and our job is just to make sure that we keep that balance right and we market the place so people are aware of what we have.
Yeah, so people really want to have a vibrant downtown. They know that that's an important thing, but they have to be the ones that help sustain those businesses that take the plunge there. So you mentioned Serafini. Let's start with that. Certainly a famous name in Erie, but bringing back some recipes, family connection here. Talk about what this means, because there was another restaurant, Bricks, in this same section that didn't work out. So talk about why Serafini's is a good change.
So Serafini's is a name that drove a lot of traffic online, people wondering when they were going to reopen. And when Amanda and Opie started selling their stuff, making it out of the church at St. Mark's, and when we met and they seemed to be opening a restaurant, Amanda's father, Bob, who ran and worked in the restaurant for years, saw the space. We went through a long process of making sure that this was the right fit and the right time for them to make this move. And it's been spectacular since they opened in September. It's hard to get a reservation on a busy night.
We managed to get in on Thanksgiving weekend. We were pretty lucky. We were probably the last reservation of the night. It is a beautiful space and a very exciting buzz about it. Food's pretty good too.
Yeah, and the space is different. Not only do we have to upgrade the kitchen for an Italian kitchen, but we also added a bar. So there's a lot of people coming in for happy hours. They've got great espresso martinis before and after dinner. It's just, it's been a great addition to what's becoming a really exciting area in downtown.
So you mentioned Dave's Diner. This obviously was on North Park Row, a business that was displaced by some of the changes, but now has its own home in a brand new space, another ribbon cutting here. So what did this mean?
So I have a personal belief, based on how I was raised and grew up, that the diner is really the center of building community. And when Dave's started to come together and the aesthetic started to take shape, and understanding how he was taking so much care and putting so much attention into making sure that the staff was trained and the kitchen was running smoothly. It's been a great opening. It's busy all the time. The food's consistent, phenomenal, and another downtown staple that once was is now back in much nicer form as well, with a lot more seats.
And that's good for
better
people
space.
working downtown too.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, we've got the courthouse and the hospitals and all the businesses downtown, and of course our residents and many others as well. So, but the cool thing to me is that we see a lot of people coming in from out of town, zip codes in other states, to hit up Serafini's and Dave's Diner, especially around the holidays. So it's been really encouraging, and we look forward to building on that.
Yeah, I think our sons treated us to dinner at Serafini, so
Yeah.
that was probably an out-of-state.
Good guys.
All right, so you mentioned the flagship city commons, and again, this is that space that was in between some of your developments. So I know you had a ribbon cutting there earlier this year. Talk about progress on that spot.
So this is a project that is a long time in the making. Really the aim of this is to tie everything else that we've built together. So when you come out of our parking garage, which you can see through the middle of the SCAP here, you'll be able to walk right through the building in a public open walkway right to Perry Square. So when there's events there, it'll be a straight shot back and forth. It'll also connect the food hall from State Street all the way through to Country Fair. And in the middle, there'll be a great arcade mall gathering space for events, a rooftop that can be used for events, and a couple floors of office where we anticipate about 100 people working and adding to our community downtown.
So our video here is a little bit older, but that really is taking shape, and there's a construction crane there. So talk about when that is supposed to be finished.
So we broke ground in July of this year after about 18 months of development work prior. As of right now, we're on schedule to deliver in the spring of 2027. So it'll be right around the same time that the Bayfront Parkway opens up at State Street. Should be a really exciting time for everything to kind of come together at once.
So you mentioned Country Fair. This was something I know you worked on for a long time that is finally open. How is this working out? Is it the right grocery option for downtown? And they sell beer there as well?
Yeah, so this is everything you would expect in your standard Country Fair, but just bigger, with the addition of a really cool barista counter which does lattes and cappuccinos. The largest beer cooler that they've got in any of their stores, energy drink wall that's way too big, but works well, and they're in a huge kitchen. But most importantly, prior to this being here, there was no place where you can go and get fresh produce, vegetables, and never frozen meat. And it provides that option as well as an expanded pantry selection for ready-made meals and boxed meals to go. And that's a really important thing for the community downtown, both as it stands today and as we anticipate it growing.
Yeah, it really is a mixed community. So this is, as you said, filling that food desert. Okay, just quickly here, Hazard's Mini Golf and Social Pub, also opening in 2025. This is indoor mini golf. How's this working out?
So this has been phenomenal. Not only are they a really cool mini golf option, they've got one simulator in the back, but they're doing live music in the bar area on a consistent weekly basis. It's a great sports bar to go watch a game. Just a nice, comfortable space that has had a great first year, and we look forward to them continuing to grow that business.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on new inside Flagship City Food Hall, where there have been some changes as well in the last year. We hope you'll stay with us. Welcome back to The Insider. I'm Lisa Adams. My guest again is Drew Whiting, CEO of the Erie Downtown Development Corporation. We are reflecting on what happened in 2025, and we're going to look ahead to what's next. And I think I need to get down there and try the mini golf. I have not been in that.
So. Yeah, I think you could set the course record.
All right. Well, inside of Flagship City Food Hall, we saw more changes. So talk about some of these changes. Triple D out, Enrique's moved in, and Enrique's will be expanding. How's that going?
Yeah, so in Triple D's and Taste and See, we're in that middle section of the food hall. Enrique's moved in. They're in the process right now of actually taking over both sections, so they've got kind of their own little section there in the middle. Enrique's, it was at 18th and Liberty for a long time. It was one of my favorite places to go when we first moved here. So it's really nice to have them in the food hall serving a really authentic Southeast Mexican food. And the other change that we had was that Taco Cantina moved out, and We Corny moved in. They were a food truck prior. I met them at Jazz Fest this year, and they've been off to a great start since late summer. So we've got a really good set of tenants in there right now, and every year we expect some turnover, but this year we've been lucky to have great people in there doing a good job.
So then there continues to be live entertainment in Flagship City Food Hall too. I don't know if that's just one night a week. We have been down there a couple of times for that. It's really a nice atmosphere.
So every Tuesday, Preach Freedom does karaoke. He's the man. And on Wednesdays, we've got live music, and that spans the spectrum of local artists who are paid to come in and put on a good show. We also do holiday programming. So we've got our Halloween party, we do a St. Patrick's party, and then upcoming this Wednesday we've got our Jingle and Mingle from 5 to 9, with 7 to 9 being live music. So we're always programming that space.
And that's in the IPA Pizza side of things.
Right in the bar space around IPA, correct.
Who is your clientele, and who do you hope to continue to attract there? I mean, what's the bottom line of how many visitors you need to have, say, a week or a month to make it successful for all those food businesses that are in there?
So, 2 years ago, the food hall was one of the only food options downtown. Now we have Dave's and Serafini's and Country Fair, and Empanisa's just opened up, and Oba Sushi, and there are a lot of other places open and running now. So, we also have seen a massive uptick in visitors to downtown, and people coming back to work and eating lunch. So we're seeing a trend that's going in the right direction, but doesn't mean there's not a challenge. And these are small businesses that aren't heavily capitalized like a national chain. So, every dollar matters, and every lunch that gets bought and drink that gets bought matters to these small businesses. So, there's not a specific number that I could put out there to say, like, we need this many visitors to the food hall for it to go well. Because some visitors spend more than others, and some people visit one place and some people visit 4 with their family on a given visit. But it is important that we support our local businesses, which is what we're offering in that space. It's also really important that we are paying attention to where the demand is and what people actually want to see in there. So we're doing our best to constantly adjust and put the food hall and all of our vendors in the best position they can to succeed.
So we're talking about people who visit and support these downtown businesses, but when we come back, we're going to talk about housing and the people who are choosing to live in the EDDC footprint and activities for the quality of life downtown, whether you're living there or visiting. We hope you'll stay with us. Welcome back again to The Insider. It is about the Erie Downtown Development Corporation, getting lots of updates from Drew Whiting, CEO. So housing, we have talked about this before. There are some gorgeous apartments down there over top of some of the buildings that EDDC has developed. Remind us how many units there are, if they're all occupied, and what the prices are like.
We have 104 apartments across our 3-block campus right now. Our studios, 900 to 1,000 a month, 1 bedrooms in that 1,300 to 1,500 range for the most part, some lower, some higher, and 2 beds can range from 1,700 to 2,200 depending on size, orientation, location. We are, right now, occasionally we have a couple of units open. If we go on the flagshipcitydistrict.com/living, you'll see what apartments are available now, what might be available in the next couple of months. But we're constantly giving tours, and we have an interest list that is dozens of people long at this point. So generally, we are fully occupied with a couple of apartments available at any given point. Our tenants are mostly young professionals. The occasional student, the occasional empty nesters. We've got an older priest living in one of our apartments. But it's a good mix. It's a group with a lot of energy. And we're trying to do what we can to give them the activities, the entertainment, the food options, and the walkability that a downtown should offer.
Is parking a part of their apartment rental, or is that a separate thing to have like a long-term parking space in the new parking garage down there, for example?
Parking is separate, and the parking garage sits in the middle of everything, so it's very convenient to everybody. Keep your car off the street, out of the snow, safe in our garage, and it's our tenants, our residential tenants are parking there, our commercial tenants are parking there, but we have a lot of other people that work around downtown that park there on a monthly basis while they're at work during the day. So it's a good mix of people. So
you touched on quality of life activities for downtown. So talk a little bit about, this is I think the Ryan Hoover part of things.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So what's going on downtown to make it interesting for the people who live there or for families to come and visit, and how does that all help to build confidence in downtown?
So Ryan Hoover and our team work very closely with Dave Tamalonis and the Downtown Partnership and their team to put on events both inside and outside our spaces to make sure that downtown is a safe, welcoming place, clean place for everyone. And that means that we're offering a lot of live music events on a consistent basis, but we're also doing like the holiday events and the parades and the concerts in the park. We're making sure that we have our artists community and our retail community featured in boutique nights and gallery nights with Erie Arts and Culture, which is also a tenant of ours. And we're involving our tenants, we're involving other community organizations, and we're saying to anybody that wants to come out and have a good time for, whether it's Fall Fest, the Downtown Delights, St. Patrick's Day Parade, and even some of the things that we're doing to participate in things like that are city run, like Celebrate Erie. We are all working together, and it feels really good to be on the same page with the others who are also trying to make that neighborhood and our downtown as strong as possible.
Still doing curling?
Yeah, we actually have curling signups launching this week. The leagues start in January. They take place in Perry Square. Generally, groups of teams come out with a six-pack and have a nice night, and then they'll go in and have some pizza at IPA or one of the other restaurants in the food hall or around that area. And it's a really good winter activity for anybody that wants an excuse to get out of the house early in the week.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about 2026 and maybe beyond. What's in the future of EDDC and who's investing in downtown. We hope you'll stay with us. I've been talking with Drew Whiting, CEO of EDDC. We've really kind of covered the accomplishments from 2025, but we're going to move ahead and talk about what's coming. So we remember this all started with an equity fund and some big businesses and industries around here that put up the initial investment money for what EDDC has done. Where does that fund stand? Is there new investment now? How are you continuing to attract investment?
So the great example that we could use right now is this new project, which is the Flagship Commons. The Downtown Equity Fund capital that was put to work early on or raised early on, what was left of that is being used in this project, but it's far from what's needed to get the project done. We're utilizing bank debt, we're utilizing grant funding, and we're applying for funds with the state, the CRIZ, and other DCD resources to make sure that this project is financed in a way where we can utilize the space, maybe not in a way that it's going to the highest bidder, but it's going to a tenant that's going to provide a community good. And that'll continue to be our model moving forward.
And what is the total price tag for that? And again, it's connecting the food hall to where Country Fair is. It's hangout space. It's more seating, right? And housing above that too?
So
offices
above, yeah. The total project will be about $30 to $35 million, and it'll provide about 25,000 square feet of office space, along with another 12,000 feet of ground floor commercial, retail, food service space.
So is the investment coming because these grants or the people investing are in on what you're doing philosophically, or does it really have to be project specific where they see the benefit of a specific thing you're doing?
It's both, Lisa, and it's not just our projects either. We look up and down State Street on the Bayfront. The investment's coming in from the state and out-of-town capital providers more now than it has in 50 to 60 years. And specifically over the last 5 years. And most of those people that come to town will point to the Bayfront and to the EDDC project and say, look, this was a positive signal that showed me that you had local stakeholders who were committed to improving this place. and not just committed to getting a project done here and there, but committed to seeing Erie rise as a whole. And that means sustained commitment over the course of time as we not just build, apartments and food service and hotels on the bayfront, but what we're doing is we're creating the infrastructure for those who want to bring family-sustaining jobs into this community. So this is a community that's blessed with a great natural resource in the Bay and the Great Lakes. We're situated in a logistics-friendly, manufacturing-friendly area for anybody that wants to come here to do light manufacturing work, to engage in high-tech plastics and aerospace manufacturing, that wants to get into medical device and life sciences work, research work as well, medical device manufacturing. Those types of things and the factory jobs and the office jobs that come with that are what's going to sustain what we're building now. But you have a hard time doing that if you don't do this first, and you don't give talent that's graduating from our local universities a reason to want to stay here.
So let's talk about also needing to have a plan. It's time
Yeah.
for the city to do a new comprehensive plan. We also have new leadership in the city and county coming in the new year. How do those things benefit EDDC?
So, with everything I just said, I think what that sets the table for is this is a time where we need all hands on deck. We need City Hall working with the private sector, working with the state and the federal government to make sure that all of this can come together, because we need to solve things like housing in all of our neighborhoods, a homelessness issue. We have a lot of things to tackle that take a coordinated effort between the city, the county, organizations like ours, and the private sector. We're entering this moment right now where we have a lot of really good, enthusiastic, smart people who are executors stepping into positions of leadership. And even at the smaller level, at organizations like the EDDC and the neighborhood groups, a lot of cohesion and collaboration happening. And how does that benefit us? It benefits us in every way. It makes our job easier and allows us to deliver on our mission in a way that I couldn't have imagined a couple of years ago.
So we're down to about the last minute or so here. Is the CRIZ going to enrich EDDC projects and ideas? And when the Bayfront Parkway construction is completed, I'm sure that's something you're looking forward to as well.
Yeah. We are in the CRIZ zone. We have sent in an application for the Flagship Commons project and for some infrastructure in the main streets around it. It's with the state right now, and we'll see what happens there. I think the CRIZ has a lot of projects in front of it, and the state's evaluating a lot of different opportunities. I think it'll be a great add to both the downtown, the Bayfront, and that should radiate out into the neighborhoods.
Last minute, can you break any news here? Is there something exciting you're planning to do in 2026 that you haven't revealed yet?
Well, we do have one more space that is yet to be filled adjacent to Dave's Diner, and we hope to have a fun new tenant in that space here soon, right adjacent to Gannon's property and be part of our community as well. And we're going to continue to build on our business support network as well, building around Radius and Janessa Norton and Sean Fedorko's work. And we're excited to see that continue to lift everybody up as well.
All right, Drew Whiting, thanks so much for coming back and giving us updates on everything going on with EDDC. We'll look forward to finding out who that new tenant is going to be adjacent to Dave's Diner. As always, thank you for joining us. If you have an idea for me to explore, just email me at ladams@erienewsnow.com and join us next time for The Insider.